middle, spins right, slips two defenders, and then scores midair. Gets around Wheaton, off the bounce, shot, and a score. Wow.
They on the move.
Near side, sets up a shot and a score for Miller. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score. Who's the man? Spellman's the man. That's who. Shot, score. It's hat trick time for Mike Durkin.
For the steps, line comes over.
Shot, score.
One-on-one with Hall.
There he is.
There's the pass, there's the score, and there's the win. Up top, Druin. He wants a shot, and he's got it. Wow.
Gregorian behind the cage.
It's a dash to his right, wraps it around for the goal. Hale gets inside, shot and score for the victory. Chase, extra feed, shot, score, game over. Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Bedford. Nick and Astis, Roger Howe with you on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, getting set for the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship game between the undefeated Bishop Guertin Cardinals and the Exeter Blue Hawks. A gorgeous afternoon, first of two championships here at Bulldog Stadium. The D2 finale will come your way tonight at 7:30. Fan bases from both teams have showed up here to this neutral location. A lot of green and gold in the crowd supporting BG, while Exeter, their supporters donning the blue and white. Really the two best teams all season long. We mentioned Bishop Guertin. They ran the table. All-state selections, Roger, released last night. The Cardinals with 10 first-teamers. Exeter on the other side, only 2 losses during the regular season, both, of course, which were against Bishop Guertin. But it's all on the line now. A championship game for the first time in 2 calendar years. The Cardinals hoping to reclaim the crown for the first time since 2017. Well, Exeter has not been in this championship spot in over a decade. So anything really on the table in terms of what to expect here this afternoon?
Well, I got to tell you, first off, I am so happy to be here. This is the atmosphere. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I'm just the vibe here just reminds me so much of the excitement I experienced here as a coach and at Exeter Bilbao Stadium those championship years. And I'm fired up. I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, the crowd's turned out for sure.
Yeah.
The pandemic restrictions now have gone by the wayside, and really not a whole lot of room to spare here at Bulldog Stadium. Great to see.
Yeah, and this will be a great game, no doubt about it. You mentioned the All-State list came out today, and Exeter's got their share too. They've got 4 first-teamers on that list, but literally the entire starting 10 for BG makes that first-team All-State list. Exeter's got to get out to a quick start, and we'll see what happens.
You mentioned Exeter and those 4 first-teamers. They also had the Player of the Year on offense. That's senior Spencer Clark, the midfielder, named the Offensive Player of the Year. And fittingly, the Defender of the Year is on BG. That's John Sullivan, the long stick midfielder headed to West Point. So that's one of many intriguing matchups we'll keep an eye on this afternoon. That's Spencer Clark, John Sullivan matchup.
Yeah, more importantly, Spencer Clark on the face-off circle. He was limited to 2 face-offs in the semifinal game against Pinkerton. That was planned, I believe, because of the heat, and they really didn't need him to be in the face-off circle to make up a face-off or 2. But he will definitely be the key to their offense today, and maybe he's going to give J.J. Murphy a run for the money.
Murphy, widely regarded as the best face-off man in the business. The junior has been successful as a starter really since his freshman year. All right, we are live this afternoon on NFHSnetwork.com. Of course, Nick and Astis, Roger Howe with you from Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. We will broadcast that second championship game on the NFH network as well. That, of course, requires a subscription to watch it live. We will release this broadcast a little later on this week on our YouTube channel, FNL NH Media. Again, we're on YouTube at FNL Media. BG, undefeated in the regular season, but due to the COVID-19 situation, the seeds in the tournament were random. All schools statewide were eligible for this open tournament, and thus the seeding a little bit scrambled here. So technically Exeter is the higher seed. They are in their home whites, despite the fact that BG had the better regular season record. So the Cardinals will be in their road greens this afternoon. All right, Roger, what needs to happen? Break it down for both teams. Give us some keys both ways here as we get set for this opening face-off.
Let's start off with the green. BG just needs to do what they've done all 19 wins this season, right straight through the playoffs, and that is just play the type of lacrosse that Coach Cameron has really just drilled into them indelibly all season long. They make very few mistakes, so if they can bring their 3 points of the game together, their defense, their offense, and their face-offs, extra men, if you want to throw that in, they will be successful. On the Exeter side, truly believe that Spencer Clark needs to really see the face-off X a lot more today. It's a cooler day. It's a great day. There's a little bit of a wind out there. He should not fatigue as quickly as if he was, facing off on a 95-degree day at 105 degrees down on the turf. Aiden Drunzik. He's the other key to this. He was kind of in the background. He's a first-team All-Stater on attack. He was dealing with a little bit of an injury in the semifinal game. He was kind of held off a little bit, and when he played more behind the net. But he, being a first-team All-Stater and being very much a part of their offense as a feeder and a goal scorer, it'll be interesting to see who he matches up with on defense, whether he ends up getting Cranny or Dahl. Obviously, I think Sullivan's going to end up on Spencer Clark or Connor Hawley, but we'll see if he can be a key to this game there as well. Final thought for Exeter. Their goalie, who has been really good this late
Ryan Tatman.
Yep. Ryan Tatman. He has done very much what Jackson Snyder did the other night in the Derryfield game against Portsmouth, and that is stand on his head. He needs to really come up big today and frustrate BG Cardinals offensive shooters and get things going the opposite direction quickly.
Yeah, we've seen two goaltenders see action this season for Exeter. The aforementioned sophomore Ryan Tatman expected to get the start here. Ethan Burnich, a freshman originally from Long Island, has also played well for head coach Jerry Hawley. These are the two longest serving head coaches in Division I. Of course, Coach Cameron took over the Cardinals in 2004. Coach Hawley has been there just a bit longer. All right, a packed crowd, temperatures in the mid-60s, a bit of a breeze, just perfect weather here on Championship Saturday. We step aside now for the national anthem here in Bedford.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Well, there it is. Well done here in Bedford. The national anthem now in the books as we get set for game time here. The 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship game here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. It's presented by Beals Insurance, broadcasting in conjunction with the NFH Network on NFHnetwork.com. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. BG, 19-0, 10 first-team All-State selections. Exeter, as you mentioned, Roger, didn't do too bad themselves. Came away with, I think, 4.
Yeah, 4 first-teamers.
Drunzik, Clark, Connor Hawley, the coach's son. And, of course, long pole defender Davis Nelson, who will be one to watch this afternoon as well. Exeter, their fan base seems to be off to our left. Well, BG in the green and gold, their student section on their feet off to our right. So a spirited crowd, as it should be, here on Championship Saturday. And we are underway as the junior J.J. Murphy comes away. Murphy going to fire on the run. This one blocks sky high and flies out of bounds near side. Exeter able to win the foot race. Good hustle along the near sideline by Matt Campfield, the senior headed to Belmont Abbey. Now, however, against the BG ride, it may be a different story. Good job by Campfield to recover. Gets it far side for Jackson Hale. And now Exeter, after losing the opening faceoff, will set up on the attack for the first time with 30 seconds gone by.
Yeah, Spencer Clark on the faceoff. Tatman with the save. There it is.
Yep.
Good start for Exeter.
2 of those keys you mentioned, Roger.
So Exeter goes into a basic set here, nothing fancy.
Far side, this is Hayden Lecter, one of the seniors. Played well in the semifinal win over Pinkerton. Blue Hawks eliminated the defending champion Astros back on Tuesday. Of course, BG, they won on this field in their semifinal victory over Bedford, 17-4 back on Tuesday. Blue Hawks with patience. We saw this against Pinkerton as well, not afraid to take their time. These two teams met twice in the regular season. Exeter slowed the pace down in that second meeting after they lost on their home field 21-8, made a better effort in Nashua a few days later and lost only 12-6.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. This is how you can frustrate BG, is they're going to press out.
Lechner's going to fire. Connerty gets a piece in net. So the sophomore sends that rebound out of bounds on the far sideline, right in front of Coach Cameron on the BG sideline.
Yeah, and this is something that Exeter can do well against Bishop Guertin. That is, they can hold on to the ball, and even with that very severe defensive press by BG, they can control the ball here.
Lechner for Hawley. Hawley on his way to Clarkson. The senior gets the step. He's going to fire. Little wide. Kept in play near side. Good backup by Gavin Lechner, the sophomore attack, younger brother of Hayden. Up top, this is Spencer Clark, the offensive player of the year, one of the best all-around athletes, perhaps, in the state of New Hampshire. He gets rid of it behind the cage. This is Jake Mantell, who led the way with 4 goals in the win back on Tuesday over Pinkerton. Exeter very patient here. This possession coming up on 2 minutes.
Love it. They are going to control this ball. They can control the game.
Lechner takes a jab step to the middle, going to backtrack now. And they're going to throw it over here to the near side wing to see if they have any better luck. It's Gavin Lechner. Nowhere to go. It's Michael Kiley. Good two-way midfielder. Senior headed to Colgate, number 3 in green on the defensive end. Up top, Holly, a little bit of stop, a little bit of room, rather. Going to come right. Picked up by Sullivan off the switch. Going to reverse now, come back middle, draw a second slide, and Holly's in trouble. Ball knocked loose by Aiden Ahern, the long pole. Exeter recovers, and now a push and a flag. One of the Exeter players went flying. That was Gavin Lechner here along the near side post. And the game's first penalty is going to be on the way against the Cardinals. It comes with just over 3 minutes gone by first quarter.
Yeah, that's a clear defensive snafu there. And that would have been a goal, in my opinion. He had that ball right in his cross. That's going to be Cranny, and he's going to go.
It's the senior defenseman, one of the captains, headed to Merrimack in the fall. He's in the box. And now BG shorthanded as Exeter goes on the EMO for the first time. They get to work. Hawley going to fire and score, and Exeter strikes first. That's Connor Hawley. The Blue Hawk faithful slapping high fives here in the stands. Exeter getting that first strike. One of the keys getting out here early. They get it done. They capitalize on the EMO and lead the Cardinals 1-0.
We have said this every game this season. I'm going to say it again. You get rotation on the corners low, and you get a good pass from X, and you get the defense to move in the opposite direction flow, you're going to have success. Holly blew that by Connerty's strong side, so he had some heat on that.
Meanwhile, Murphy now 2 for 2 at the face-off X for BG. Cardinals had a very abbreviated possession to start the game. Murphy won the game's opening face-off, came down, took a shot just seconds in. It ended up out of bounds and was handed over to Exeter. So it's really the first time the attack gets to set up here, Roger, for BG.
Yeah, and they're going to slow it down too here. They're going to give their defense a little bit of a break here. They don't want to lose possession, get back into transition, that is, and keep their defense tired. Give them a break here.
Sophomore Tim Kiley gets it off to the senior John Kokorian, headed to Trinity, and around the perimeter it goes. This is Connor Bouvier, sophomore midfielder, takes a step, far side, closed out well by the defender Adam Neal, one of Exeter's better defenders. Here's a quick shot. Kiley goes wide, ended up paying the price as the sophomore took a shot, ended up on the turf. Backed up by BG, a quick restart behind the cage. That's Dawson Clark. Fires from a tough angle. Tapman is ready for Exeter, and the Blue Hawks have another stop.
Find it interesting that Mike Kiley, the first-line senior midfielder, was not out there on that shift. His brother Tim.
Meanwhile, Neal's pass was tipped by Kerkorian. Ahern ends up with it. And now the senior defender, unsure of where to go with the ball here, finally settles with his teammate Chris Heitmiller.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where transition guys were coming off and on the field for BG, and those midfielders usually run both ways, so maybe Coach Cam is doing something a little different here with offensive and defensive middies. 5
minutes gone by, first quarter. Meanwhile, a drop by Declan Wilkie. May have had a shot there from around the 20-yard line. Instead, has to settle with a pass behind the cage. BG trying to get on the board, trailing 1-0. Kerkorian, far side wing. They're going to swing it near side. This is Heitmiller looking to draw a slide. Now gets inside the defender, but Tapman slams the cupboard door shut on the near side. Now Tapman out of the cage. Wilkie right on his backside. Pretty good shimmer step to free himself up. Now the pass along the far side by Bunnell is taken in low by Clark, and here comes Exeter left to right. Nearly midway through first quarter. Great start for the Blue Hawks as they look for a 2-0 lead.
Wow, great clear. And Tapman comes up big, does a nice little head fake move on Declan Wilkie behind the net, gets him loose, gets his hands loose.
A couple of saves early on for the sophomore goaltender for Exeter. Crowd continuing to file in, some of the late arrivers. A packed house here in Bedford. Meanwhile, Holly, who scored a moment ago for Exeter, gets rid of it. Hayden Lechner now behind the cage, given a little bit of room by the defender, Nick McGovern. Trying to shake McGovern to that far side, draws the slide from Ahern. Ahern now picks him up, hacking at him with that long stick to no effect. Lechner now retreating to that far corner, going to sling it out far sideline, and Exeter's going to restart here as we head towards the 5-minute mark, first quarter. Clark trying to shake off Sullivan. That's the matchup to watch. The offensive player of the year against the defensive player of the year in Division I.
Well, I like the way both teams have been playing it here. The one advantage BG gave Exeter there was that on that long offensive possession they had, they gave Connor Hawley and the midfielders a little bit of a break.
Meanwhile, this is Clark trying to shake Sullivan to the left. Goes back behind the cage. Mantell, near side. Here's Drunzik. Junior headed to UMass. Craney, who is back in from the penalty box, can't stay with him. Got inside of the defender. Shot knocked away by Carnedy. It's loose along the near side. Sullivan in the fray, trying to fight off Lechner. McGovern joins, but it's Clark who has it for Exeter. That one rolls right into the stick of Clark. And Exeter able to keep it at this end as we now move towards 4 minutes. Another lengthy possession here for Exeter. And, of course, that's by design. Coach Hawley trying to keep that dangerous BG attack on the sideline. Here's a shot by Drunzik, goes wide. Backed up by Lechner. It will stay with the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, this is absolutely programmed. If you can keep it out of BG's stick and you can hold the ball on the offensive side of the field and prevent any transition, fast break, you're going to be successful.
Meanwhile, Mantell fires low and scores. Perfect placement on that shot. He snuck it between the goaltender and the near side post for Exeter's second goal.
Yeah, this kid Mantell, man, he has come to life over the course of the last 4 or 5 games. He had 5 goals in the semifinal game against Pinkerton. I think the Pinkerton defense didn't think that much of him. They didn't key on him, and then all of a sudden this kid exploded. I think he might have had 3 straight goals in that second quarter, and he has just eaten up championship lacrosse.
Well, big players make big plays in big games, right? That seems to be Jake Mantell's M.O.
Really is.
After he led the way against Pinkerton, as you mentioned, with 5 goals, headed to Southern New Hampshire University next year, so he's going to be a local kid at the NCAA level. And one of the weapons for Exeter, no question. He's got the Blue Hawks out in front now, 2-0. Meanwhile, Murphy is 3 for 3 at the face-off X for BG, so a chance for the Cardinals to settle in here and get on the board.
Yeah, and again, we don't see Michael Kiley, Nick, number 3. He has been their first-line midfielder, captain, all-stater. We don't see him out there.
And we saw him briefly on the defensive end, but he's not here on the attack. Meanwhile, Bouvier going to fire low. Tapman able to sweep it aside and come up with a loose ball again in net for Exeter as the sophomore standing out here through the first 9 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and he got a very favorable bounce on the rebound. Came right back to him off the missed
Meanwhile,
ground ball.
Lechner across the zone, passes low. Good job by Drunzik to at least retain possession. Meanwhile, Lechner goes flying. There's another flag on that far side. Here's Hale on the near side, absorbs a check. Going to backtrack on the near wing.
Smart play.
Yeah, Exeter trying to go, 2 for 2 here. Back to Lechner. He's open. Shot stopped by Connerty. Oh, hang on. That one flirted with the goal line. And now they give it to Exeter. It's a goal. Stopped initially by Carnedy. The ball got away from the goaltender and just crossed the line there inside of that far post, as you can see via the replay. So 3-0 Exeter as play continued there after the penalty.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Tim McCaffrey, the referee, on that post, on that goal, he is, in my opinion, the best official in the state of New Hampshire. He does NCAA games, Division I. He did Division I games this year in the playoffs. He does not miss that call.
Meanwhile, Exeter, they win their first faceoff. Davis Nelson in some trouble, and a timeout now has come from the Exeter sideline. Coach Hawley bailing out the long stick defender to ensure the possession. And with 2:20 to go, Exeter out in front 3-0. The Blue Hawks could not have asked for a better start here in Bedford.
No, they could not. They rubbed the genie lamp last night, and they got their wish. because this could not have started any better. The people that we thought were going to be keys to this game are already rising to the top of that roster, and this is probably more of a beneficial timeout for BG than it is the Blue Hawks, but the Blue Hawks are looking at more than likely, with 2:20 left on the clock here, eat some clock until the quarter is over.
Yeah. Well, it's been the clear game plan as the time of possession has been dominated so far by Exeter. That's despite the fact that BG has won 3 of the 4 face-offs. There you see Coach Cameron in search of another championship ring. Longtime Cardinal head coach, of course, founder of the New Hampshire Tomahawks as well. He'll join us in studio tomorrow for the season finale of the FNL NH Lacrosse show that'll feature exclusive interviews with championship coaches and players. That comes your way for the final time this season tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. That's, of course, on FNL NH Media on YouTube, and it's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
I am just amazed in doing my little prep for today's game. 15 straight years Chris Cameron and the BG Cardinals
How about that?
In a final D1 game.
How about that?
And it's easy to look back and, tally up the wins, but when you look at the whole chronological order,
the entire resume, right?
Yeah, 15. It would have been 16 perhaps if not for
we played
COVID
last year, sure.
But just unbelievable. Here we go.
Hayden Lechner out of the timeout for Exeter.
Watch for just a sag and drag offense here. Get possession, keep it on the perimeter, find the opening.
Does BG do anything out of the timeout to try and force the issue defensively?
See, this is it. The BG's game is forcing it. They don't have any other strategy on defense. They find 6 guys out there and they peg them, and if they lose them, they got a guy adjacent or in the hole that's sliding out that's going to take care of business. This is what you need to do against BG, and Exeter is doing it.
Here's Clark, who I believe was given credit for that last goal by Exeter.
Is that right, not Lechner?
I thought it was Lechner, but I'm not sure if he touched it after. It was Clark who got a piece of it down around the goal.
Yeah, I think the score table, I think out of my right ear, I heard said Lechner, but we'll double-check now.
Okay. Minute 20. Either way, it's 3-0. Exeter looking for a 4-0 lead. Lechner a little wide there on a medium-pace shot.
Lechner said, well, if so, they gave it to Clark. I'm going to fire up and get one now.
Yeah, he sure wants one.
Look at that.
Meanwhile, Drunzik a little wild here along the near side. That one well wide. Good hustle by the sophomore Gavin Lechner on that far side to keep it here. Final minute, first quarter. Exeter a 3-0 lead on Bishop Guertin. Not a spot the Cardinals are accustomed to being in. It's trailing.
No, and just as you were saying that, I remember us talking about BG not having stiffer competition this year on their schedule. This is something that may work against their defense, not having to struggle and stay consistently in the defensive mode against a quality team.
Meanwhile, Mantell had a step for a moment. Good recovery. Now he does spin middle and score. Well, he got inside of the BG defender, Nick Dahl. Kept Dahl on his backside and then cashes in for a 4th Exeter goal to increase the Blue Hawk lead to 4-0.
Wow, you talk about dangling with your right hand and keeping it away from the defender and finding just enough space, maybe 3 feet, to get it back into your left hand to pop it in. Man, that was a great play.
That's Jake Mantell again. His second goal here early on. 30 seconds remain first quarter. Ground ball rolls all the way to that far side 22-yard line before BG's Aiden Ahern comes up with it. Cardinals have now won 4 of 5 at the X. Up ahead quickly, trying to beat the clock down to 15 seconds. Time for one more. As Xander Dunsmore, the junior, going to slow it down. Now behind the cage it goes. Krikorian back for Clark. That's Dawson Clark, who fires high and wide with 4 seconds remaining. Restarted behind the cage by the freshman Brady Dumont. Another shot from the wing is stopped by Tapman, and that is going to do it for quarter number 1. The Exeter fans celebrating after basically a perfect first quarter by the challengers. It's 4-0 Blue Hawks after one. Right back to Bedford for the second quarter in a moment. You are watching the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship game on the NFHS Network. Brought to you by Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Back here on the NFHS Network, NFHnetwork.com. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe from Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. Exeter, a 4-0 lead over BG. The Cardinals, undefeated during the regular season, were seen by most as heavy favorites this afternoon. They beat Exeter convincingly twice in the regular season. But, Roger, the Blue Hawks come out. They are patient on the offense, very selective, the execution good. They avoid any real mistakes through the first 12 minutes. They keep the BG attack on the sideline more often than not. And they've got a 4-0 lead on the board as we begin the second.
This is wonderful coaching by Coach Holly. If they can sustain it for another 3 quarters and keep up that offensive possession, that's going to be a positive for them. As we said in the ending part of that quarter, BG has never had to do this out of the 19 games they've played this year. And I didn't see all their games, but their scores are indicative of a team that does not play a lot of defense.
Well, they won by an average of 14 goals during the regular season. That's on average. And I don't think they ever trailed by 4 at any point this season. So this group in some uncharted territory as they try to get on the board. First things first here early on in the second quarter. Trying to get that shutout off the scoreboard.
Yeah, and one of the first moves Coach Cam has made is put in Brady Dumont. He had 2 goals against Exeter.
Meanwhile, Kiley going to fire. Tapman the stop. Kiley on the ground trying to sniff out the rebound. Instead, it's Exeter's Neal who scoops it off the turf, and now Neal, right to left, able to clear it for Exeter. Another save by Ryan Tatman, the sophomore. Seeing beach balls right now, Roger, as you like to say.
You stole my line. Oh, now I got to come up with another one. Yeah, what can you say? This kid's on fire right now. 6 saves already in this game. We're not even halfway through. That's a big deal.
Well, Hawley rifles a shot from in close that's sent back by Connerty. Meanwhile, Kiley knocked to the ground. A flag is going to fly as this ball ends up out of bounds. A couple of players hit the turf. I think we see our first penalty here against Exeter.
Yeah, and he motioned it 1-3, but it looks like, oh, no, he's got number 6. Okay, so, yeah.
I think that's Mantell, who
Mantell. Yeah.
Scored 2 of the 4 Exeter goals in that first quarter. Headed to the box. It's the first penalty against the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him a push, so this will be a quick EMO. Let's see. So Michael Kiley is back out there. So, whatever was going on there in the first quarter on the offensive side of the ball, he's going to be out here commandeering the man up. The other person we're going to be looking for out there is Dawson Clark, number 6.
Yeah, both those guys first teamers. Kiley, a senior, on his way to Colgate. Dawson Clark, who along with his BG classmate John Sullivan will be attending West Point and playing for the Army next spring.
Now they're gonna face guard Dawson Clark, so they're gonna go 5-on-4 here.
They're gonna swing it near side, and that shot by Bouvier is wide.
So I like that move. That's Adam Neal gonna face guard Dawson, but they're gonna let him roam now.
And Neal's one of their better defenders, for sure.
Now they're going to face guard him. Interesting strategy.
Nearly 2 minutes in. Clock ticking on this BG EMO. They'll keep it up top. McGovern now comes to the near wing. Bouvier thought about it. They reverse it. Now out of the slot, shot and score. That's Kerkorian. Able to catch and finish in one motion, a windmill-type release. And finally, the Cardinals able to sneak one past Ryan Tapman and get on the board. It's 4-1.
Yeah, it looked like Exeter got a little sleepy there on the low end because they were doing 5-on-4. That box was going very, very well there until that deep pass out on the wing. And then Kerkorian just kind of sneaks in behind number 17, Zach Gilvar, who, by the way, is a second-team All-Stater this year. And they find success. So BG on the board.
All right, face-off goes back to Murphy, who, as expected, has been dominant in the face-off X for BG, now a winner of 5 of 6. All right, Cardinals trying to ride a little momentum. They were on their heels in that first quarter. More often than not, trying to score on back-to-back trips to get back within 2, with 2.5 now gone by in this second quarter. Kerkorian on the spin. The defender is Exeter's Gilvar. Kerkorian back near side, going to get rid of it. BG going to reset. From up top, first look by Connor Guibord. Bouvier. Shut down by Clark. Trying to get the step to his right. Clark poked it loose. Look at Clark. Fought off 2 Cardinals there to get the ground ball, and the senior going to take it himself over the 50-yard line. Sets up Hale in the middle. Hale has eyes on the cage. Swims through 2 defenders. Shot knocked aside by Connerty. Ground ball goes to Sullivan. The Cardinal senior fires the pass off his back foot. Guibord able to advance it. Ahern goes left side. Kerkorian going to fire himself. Knocked aside. May have gotten a piece there of the post. Ends up out of play near side. It'll stay with BG.
Wow. Back and forth there in about 12 seconds. That was crazy.
Pace picking up. Very methodical. First 12 minutes or so. The action seemingly getting faster to begin this second quarter. Now that nearly 4 minutes gone by. Here's Mike Kiley. Again, BG. Trying to move the ball and then capitalize. Meanwhile, Clark forced one from about 13 yards out. Backed up, though, by Kerkorian, who restarts with a spin move behind the cage.
Yeah, Dawson's a little off target. That's his second big step down, and he's gone way over the net.
One-on-one, Kiley. It's around Hale, gets a slide from Nelson. Shot through a crowd there, ends up out of play again near side, and again will stay with BG.
Let's not forget quickly before we go further here, Jackson Hale with a great dodge right through the BG defense there to get that last shot on Connerty.
Yeah, Hale has played well, one of these veteran seniors for Coach Hawley.
Big circle here.
And they're going to spread it way out. They gamble by Nelson.
Yeah,
Clark going to trot and then flick a scoop pass over to Kerkorian. Now it's Dunsmore. Spin move. Didn't get that one off quite cleanly. This one rolls out of play. And again, we'll stay with BG. 5 minutes gone by, second quarter.
We haven't seen Brady Dumont get his stick checked like that too much this season, have we, Nick?
No, he's been outstanding when we've seen him. The freshman attack has really stood out as perhaps one of the best freshmen statewide.
Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, McGovern up top, swung. Now a shot and a score. Wow, that's Chris Heitmiller from deep. The senior paid the price as he took a shot from the Exeter defender. He'll take that all day, though. BG, now 2 in a row, are back within 2 at 4-2.
Well, just as we say Brady Dumont's name, gets on the scoreboard with a big apple there. Heitmiller, we've seen him several times come in with some big guns like that, and boy, didn't think he could shoot that far out though.
That one on point. Yeah. From deep. Meanwhile, Murphy, another face-off win for BG. It's now 6 out of 7 unofficially, and it leads to a quick shot and score by Krikorian. That's the second goal for the senior, and BG, just like that, back within 1 at 4-3.
Yeah, Murphy would have gotten an assist on this if it weren't for the dodge by Krikorian, but that was all Murphy, from the win to pacing it down into the box and finding Krikorian. Timeout here is in line.
2 goals, 8 seconds apart, and that's enough for Coach Hawley, the veteran, on that Exeter sideline. Says, let's take a break here as the Blue Hawks try to regroup, as now BG has scored 3 unanswered goals. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you from Bedford. A very pleasant Saturday afternoon here on Championship Sunday. First of 2 championship games played here at Bulldog Stadium. The boys Division II final between Timberlane and Portsmouth comes your way at 7:30. In this game, Exeter scored 4 goals in the first quarter. Connor Hawley, Jake Mantell, Spencer Clark, and then a second for Mantell just before the end of that first quarter gave the Blue Hawks the start they were looking for at 4-1 after 1. Then BG cashed in on an EMO. John Krikorian got the Cardinals on the board at 4-1. And then within the last moment or so, Chris Heitmiller, followed by John Krikorian's second, 8 seconds apart, have brought BG right back into this game, trailing now just by 1 at 4-3.
Little under halfway through this quarter, and what would you say is the biggest difference between the 2 quarters?
Ooh, the time of possession. Exeter, I think, dominated that time of possession unofficially, 9-3, 10-2?
Yeah, easily.
Something like that in that first quarter, and now it seems like the Blue Hawks have been on defense more often than not through nearly, 6 minutes now here in the second quarter.
That's point number 1. Point number 2 is pace of play. Pace of play. How many times has the ball gone between the boxes already in the first 5 minutes of this game, this quarter? And that's what these guys will do to each other, is that they'll force pace when they have control of the ball, and if they're playing mistake-free, they'll have their way.
Well, one of the things you highlighted, Roger, pregame was Spencer Clark. Was he going to take some face-offs here for Exeter? How many face-offs? Well, here he is against Murphy. After the junior for BG has won 6 of 7. Exeter hoping maybe Clark can turn the tide. Instead, Murphy wins another.
Yep. Yeah, he's winning the clamp, and you can't rake and pop when you're winning the clamp, and that's exactly what's happening. They're having words as they come off the field too, Murphy and Clark.
Yeah, all the way over to the bench in each other's ear there.
Exactly. We'll pick up on that. We'll keep an eye out. 2
competitors going at it here in mid-June. The championship game, Exeter, only 2 losses during that regular season. They were both against BG. Cardinals, of course, ran the table, looking for their first championship since 2017. Heitmiller shake and bake, lost it from behind. Good defensive play to strip it. Ball still loose on the carpet. The freshman ends up with it.
So Brady Dumont's playing midfield right now. He is not an attackman, although he's going into an attackman slot right now. You got Declan, Wilkie, Clark, and Krikorian out there. That's the starting attack.
Tough angle shot there by Dumont. Ends up out of play in the near corner. We're past now the midway point, second quarter.
And now Dumont comes off, so he's going to look for Bouvier to come out there and take that midfield slot.
Yeah, the sophomore trotting on here, taking the pass up top. Cardinals trying to tie the game. Heitmiller trying to shake off Hawley. The senior keeps him at bay. Wilkie goes now on the near wing for Bouvier. That one almost got away from Heitmiller, the senior, able to flash the hands and reel it in. Not a whole lot of unforced errors either way, Roger. The play has been pretty clean.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of good checks out there, but it hasn't been dominating checks by the defense. Not like we saw in the Portsmouth game against Derryfield. It seemed like every time the Derryfield offense had that ball, they got it checked out of their stick, and good defensive battle there.
Inside of 5 minutes, second quarter. It's Yuli Ellis, the defender, one of the more physical defenders for Exeter. Trying to shut down Dunsmore or make that Kerkorian shot. Turned aside by Tapman. And then it's Exeter who gets on the ground ball. That was Campfield who had it. Whistle. He's going to keep it with Exeter.
That was an equipment whistle because he had lost his glove way in the back of the defensive zone.
Meanwhile, Hawley seeking the 50, finds it for the clear. Sullivan trying to ride him out of bounds. Knocked Hawley face first into his own bench. There's no call. Exeter wanted a flag. Instead, it's turned over, and the Cardinals come left to right as we come upon 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. Here's Kiley. Drops it down. Wilkie's shot is wide. Kerkorian wins the foot race over Nelson in that far corner to keep it for BG.
Well, I saw both numbers on the backside, so I thought there was going to be a call there. But, hey, I guess John Sullivan timed it just right.
The officials letting them play. Veteran crew led by Tim McCaffrey, James Riley, Brian Murphy, Jim Prusher as well. Mike Kiley, the Colgate commit, drops it near side for Wilkie.
Great
trying
collapse.
to keep his balance. And now Coach Cameron has called a timeout. Comes with 3.5 to go before halftime. Cardinals burn their second timeout of this first half. They want to seemingly draw something up here to try and tie this one at 4.
Yeah, this is where they've got to kind of control the ball here. Probably as much as they don't like to make just a static offense happen, they need to, hold the ball here, get that tying goal, and then hope that Murphy can get another possession here and keep them in the flow of the offense.
Coming up at halftime, a look back at this first half. We'll get you the latest statistics and a full recap, a preview of the second half, of course, as well. We'll preview that D2 championship game, which comes your way tonight as well. That's between Portsmouth and Timberlane. It comes your way at 7:30, so a full halftime report coming up in just about 3.5 minutes or so from now. 4-3 Exeter. BG has stormed back in this second quarter after trailing 4-0 after 1.
Yeah, good pace of game there. Got away from what we saw in the first quarter. Tapman comes up big again. I think that last shot hit him on the leg, and the rebound came out here to just about the 25-30-yard line. This kid, you stole my line, but I'll come up with something new. Maybe a basketball. You've seen a basketball now.
You can get more creative than that.
I know I can.
Well, I didn't steal it if I gave you credit.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
I said as you like to say.
Get the byline, as they say.
So I think I'm the one who needs to get a little more creative. Let's see how creative BG can be here. Coming out of the timeout, they've got possession. Plenty of time to work with here. 3:32 to go, second quarter. Trying to tie this game for the first time since it was 0-0 early on.
Yeah,
McGovern fakes a pass, keeps it moving to his right. A flag flies. Kerkorian behind the cage. Far side wing Kiley. Back up top for Heitmiller. Penalty on the way against Exeter. Heitmiller checked by Neal. Brings him left side. Now fires on the move and scores. Heitmiller, his second goal. He sneaks that one in just underneath the crossbar to tie the game at 4.
I can't tell whether they waved this off or not. I saw official McCaffrey give the slash under the face mask motion.
Heitmiller with 2. Kerkorian with 2 on the BG side. Mantell with 2 for Exeter to go along with scores from Hawley and Clark.
So there is no penalty, Nick. We're 6-on-6.
They wave it off. BG wins another faceoff. Murphy has been excellent in this first half. Winners of 8 of 9 for the Cardinals. And now BG with inside of 3 minutes remaining first half, a chance for their first lead of the afternoon. Trying to extend this unanswered goal streak to 5.
Yeah, that's a big adjective there, unanswered. Unanswered. They have just not shown up here in the second.
Another flag. Bouncer by Gabord. Nelson tracks down the ground ball, and let's see what the penalty is here. It's going to be against Exeter.
It's going to be a hold.
Crowd not happy.
Yeah, that was just the screen happened there, but I didn't see the hold. It's going to go against Bryce Sturdivant.
Sturdivant not a happy camper over there in the box. For Exeter, the senior trying to plead his case to no avail. EMO for BG. They scored earlier on the extra man opportunity. Shot here is wide from Bouvier. We're down to 2:15 here, second quarter. They've been good, really, Roger, all year in these kind of situations with an extra man. Bouvier sniping top corner. Cardinals with the lead for the first time with just over 2 minutes remaining before halftime. The sophomore, part of a big Lacrosse family, as we know, showing some pinpoint accuracy on that shot there.
Yeah, you were just finishing your words about their EMO, and I was about to say how quickly this Bishop Guertin Cardinals team on their EMO can morph into just about any type of formation that the defense throws at them, as shown in that prior EMO with the 5-on-4. Now they go into a different set, and they fire it up anyways.
Murphy, another face-off win, 9 of 10 in this first half. BG, they've scored 5 unanswered goals, 2 of them on the EMO. And looking to extend this lead before halftime as we're inside of 2 minutes here, second quarter.
Yeah, and I think that they will press it here. I don't think they're going. It's too soon with a couple of minutes here, or a minute and a half here left to just sit back and go for last shot. You want to keep going. You got the pressure on.
Heitmiller lost his balance. Clark is all over him. Senior recovers, however, maintaining possession, and now Mike Kiley in no hurry for the Cardinals outside the 35-yard line. Minute 20. Takes on Sturdivant to his left. Shot on the move, out of play, a little wide. Kerkorian set for the restart deep behind the cage. BG has dominated time of possession here in this second quarter. The attack has run smoothly. Cardinals trying to build a multi-goal lead. That shot, I think, went off the post. Flags fly from both officials. And the laundry came after the whistle, it seemed like. Let's see what this is about here. May have been a hit there after the whistle was blown. We take a look at the replay. Well, it comes with 1 minute and 1 second remaining. It goes against the Cardinals.
Yeah, this is on Kerkorian, and I am not sure what the call is. I didn't see. Yeah, and maybe interference then on the goalie or something along those lines with the BG player.
Second BG penalty, Kerkorian in the box. EMO for the Blue Hawks as they try to cash in, hoping to tie the game before halftime. They scored on their previous EMO to open up the scoring early on in that first quarter. Hawley wasn't expecting that pass, took a shot between the shoulder blades, able to keep his balance and possession, and now Exeter restarts on that far side wing. We're down to 30 seconds, second quarter. The sophomore Gavin Lechner gets rid of it. Hawley now tries to dodge a man who comes flying in from behind. That's BG Zach Kuchalakis.
Yeah, that was definitely an interference call then. 30-second technical. Back to 6-on-6.
15 seconds. Hale with the step. Draws the slide, tries to swim inside. Shot goes off the post. Clark tried to gather and refire, couldn't quite bring it in. Now Ahern has it for the Cardinals. Down to 2 seconds, down to 1, and that, I believe, is going to do it. Or did we get a timeout first? There's literally a fraction of a second 1/10 of a second on the board.
Yeah, it has to be a BG timeout because they're the only team that has timeouts left.
I thought they had called 2.
No.
I guess not.
No, even up on the board, Nick, it's showing them with 1 left.
Well, the Cardinals, I think, tried to get the timeout maybe a second or 2 before it was actually granted. Again, it comes with .1 remaining. Not sure what you can draw up in 1/10 of a second, but they may add some time here. I think they are.
Yeah, I think I overheard the scorekeeper's table. I think they're adding 1 second. 0.5.
Put 0.5 on the board, so a half a second, which I still can't imagine you can do much here.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't know what year it was, but Dawson Clark's older brother, Dakota, at Bedford High School, shot the ball from X, the face-off X. Can't remember the team either, but I think it was Sauhegan. Shot the ball from at X with 1 second left and scored.
Wow.
And they gave him the goal.
Could he do it in half a second?
Well,
We'll
I think
find out.
if you get the shot off, who knows? I mean, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, it will be Dawson Clark from where? About the 48-yard line.
Deja vu.
So trying to follow in his big brother's steps here. He does get it off, and that one ends up wide of the mark. That'll do it. A tale of 2 quarters for the first half. Exeter jumped out in front early, 4-0. The second quarter, however, belongs to BG as they score 5 unanswered heading into halftime and hold a slight 5-4 advantage at the midway point.
Wow, absolutely the correct label of that first half. Tale of 2 halves. A very slowed down. I think there might have been maybe 2 possessions on each team in the first quarter, and Exeter dominates on the scoreboard. BG comes out and says, we're having none of this pace of play. We're going to go and play this game the way we want to play it. They cause a couple of turnovers, get things going in transition, and boom, the train is off and running, and the Exeter defense can't stop it. Thus, 5 straight goals in that quarter.
Yeah. All right, coming up, take a look back at that first half, get you the stats, preview the second half. We'll preview that D2 championship tonight as well between Portsmouth and Timberlane. That and more on your way next. 5-4 BG out in front of Exeter at halftime. You are watching coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship game here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance. Seen live only on NFHnetwork.com.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Start of the second half here in Bedford. BG with a slim 5-4 lead over Exeter. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network on NFHnetwork.com. Exeter, a 4-0 lead after the first quarter. The Blue Hawks dominated the time of possession through the first 12 minutes and saw 3 different goal scorers, Connor Hawley, Spencer Clark, and 2 from Jake Mantell. Then the second quarter belonged to BG as the Cardinals strung together 5 unanswered goals. 2 of those were on the EMO, 2 apiece for John Kirkorian and Chris Heitmiller. And that is where we are with Coach Cameron's BG Cardinals seeking their first title since 2017, out in front 5-4 over Exeter.
Yeah, regardless of the 5-4 score here, if you're Coach Hawley and the Exeter Blue Hawks, you are very pleased with your position right now. 2 players on their roster that really have not figured into the offense at all today that absolutely need to become a part. I'll even maybe add a third here, Jake Mantell, but Drunzik has hardly touched the ball today. He has been a dominant force out there for Exeter. First team All-Stater again out there for Exeter. And although Spencer Clark has really logged a lot of miles out there today between faceoffs, being on the offense and the defensive side of the ball, he has not figured in the scoring at all either. And he is the offensive player of the year.
So that third goal was given to Hayden Lechner.
That is my understanding,
okay.
Yes. Yes.
So how do you get Spencer Clark involved if you're head coach Jerry Hawley?
When you go back to the first quarter and you think about how they approach this game, I think you go back to that. Do not allow BG to force the pace of play. If you get possession here, which granted has been difficult because Murphy has had his way out there. He's won 10 face-offs out of the 11 that I counted, and you got to get that ball away from him. Maybe you tie up the wings. I see Clark is stepping up to the X right now, so he is going to begin the third quarter with facing off. Got to get maybe a couple of poles on the wings. There's no reason why you can't put a shorty in the box and bring up 2 long poles if you're Exeter and try to cut that off. They got to figure out this face-off thing, but yes, pace of play is going to be the key, Nick.
It'll be Murphy against Clark to begin the second half. As you mentioned, J.J. Murphy, the junior, showing you why he's widely considered as the best face-off man in the biz. He wins another, but then throws the pass behind his teammate Michael Colley, retrieves it himself, now makes a shot here near the cage. Taken away by Tapman, and then Exeter's David Nelson able to win the face-off battle. That may have gone off his arm there, that shot. Another save for Tapman, who played well for Exeter in that first half.
Yeah, he had 9 saves in that first half, and I'd say at least half of them were big-time saves.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cardinals produced a lot of quality shots, even the ones that Tapman stopped earlier were from pretty good spots on the field. I'd imagine Coach Cameron didn't have a problem with the shot selection, even though the Cardinals were held off the board in that first quarter.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. You're absolutely right there, Nick.
Meanwhile, Hawley trying to get away from Cranny. Cranny, the big defender with the big stick.
He has got some big wood on Connor Hawley there.
One of 3 All-State defenders in the lineup here for BG. As you mentioned, 10 first-team All-State selections in green this afternoon for BG. Exeter with 4 on the first team and a handful more on the second.
I remember in one of your early shows on the Sunday morning, Coach Cameron said that this defensive crew, Cranny, Dahl, and Hearn, were probably as good, if not better, than his two All-Americans, Bob Fahey and Kyle Karaskis, that went to UMass as a tandem back in the day. But these guys are laying some big wood out there, including John Sullivan.
Yeah, Sullivan, maybe the best of them all, named the defensive player of the year in Division I. Midfielder, of course, headed to West Point in the fall. Meanwhile, lengthy opening possession for Exeter. This is what you expected to see, Roger. Meanwhile, Mantell.
Oh, look at this.
Able to take the pass from Gavin Lechner, who fell to one knee. Exeter going to maintain their possession. They pass on the shot. Now Clark sees his shot jammed up here on the near wing. Ground ball goes back to Mantell, who scored twice in that first half for the Blue Hawks. Hawley now given room here to take a breath.
This is
on
what
the near side wing.
This is great strategy. Okay, a couple of low ball passes there, lucky passes, and now you play it in.
Hawley gets the step, and the senior ties the game. The coach's son able to step on the gas, and then it looked like a little touch on that shot that ends up high and in the net.
This is very difficult for a goalie to see this. All right, he's got the gate in front of him, and then another defender comes in, and he goes right over the goalie's head. So he's shooting basically right at the goalie's face mask, and the goalie instinctively starts to go down into his crouch to cover net, and there it is, right at the top of the net.
That caps off a possession that lasted over 2 minutes.
Just what they needed to do to get back on track here.
BG with Murphy leading it, sets up an easy one. Not so fast, says Tatman. Robbing Kerkorian, the goaltender, out of the net with a long outlet pass. Taken in by Mantell. Mantell cautiously comes middle, now going to circle back down and slow it down here on the near side wing.
Boy, not only did Tatman make a PLL-type save out there, but he directs traffic on the attack side and tells his attackman to get open and hits him dead on. A little high, but he got it.
Yeah, he turned from goalie to quarterback pretty quickly. A nice pass to start the break, and now Exeter looking for their first lead since midway through the second quarter. Drunzik knocked down. Now a shot turned aside by Carnegie, ends up out of play behind the cage, and will stay with Exeter.
Yeah, all right. Drunzik is starting to feel it a little bit. That's what we saw a lot of him this season, going up against a bigger defender and just muscling in on a bull type dodge and rolling in. And they had a big slide there, but good to see him wake up.
Nearly 4 minutes gone by already in this fourth quarter. Drunzik, the UMass commit, near side. Scoop pass for Mantell, who's on his way to Schnoo. Mantell spins, looking to get inside. Took a shot in the back from Xander Dunsmore. Exeter bench wanted the penalty. Won't get it. Blue Hawks set up a shot from that far wing. That's Clark. That goes wide, and again will stay with Exeter.
Good knockdown by the BG defense there in the middle, but the hop goes right to Lechner, and he quickly gets it over to Clark.
Mantell absorbing a couple of body checks. Slide comes over as well. A forced shot ends up in the side of the net. Cranny digs it out for BG, and now the Cardinals look for the clear right to left. Here's Dunsmore. Flicks it middle. Gabord shooting on the run. That's wide. And out of play, the sophomore calling his own number on that one.
Yeah, would have liked to see Mantell, pull that out. He saw the slide coming and rolled in and shot it anyways. He should have gone far side.
Meanwhile, Dawson Clark with the restart. Bouvier swings it up top for Gabord. And now near side, this is Tim Kiley, the shifty sophomore. His pass broken up. Knocked down by Gilvar. Scooped up by Neal. Although I may have misspoke or spoken too soon. Neal can't quite get it. And now trying to fight off the pesky Kiley. Joined by his teammate Hawley on the near side, but it's Kiley who emerges from the scrum with the ball for BG. Perhaps the smallest man on the field, showing some toughness on that one to scoop it up and keep the action on this end.
Yeah, I love that kid. I mean, he just does not give up. It was a 3-on-3, then a 2-on-3, and then he comes out of it with the ball and gets it back in.
Really stuck his nose in the fray. And ultimately the effort pays off as BG. And keep it at this end as we hit the midway point. Third quarter, game tied at 5. Cardinals seeking their first second half goal, trying to reclaim the lead.
Yeah, his big brother trying to make a showing.
There's a pass across the zone, and there's the assist for Mike Kiley as he hooks up with Declan Wilkie, the senior attackman. Picks his spot on that far side wing, and BG's back in front 6-5.
Yeah, I love the way Kiley baits the defense. And the far side defender falls asleep. And when you draw that slide, you got to watch the backside as well. Yeah, that's your responsibility as a long pole, close defender. You can't leave that backside exposed.
Let's go, Exeter, let's go!
So Declan Wilkie gets his name in the scorer's book, his first goal.
You know, Nick, I'd like to see how many times Kiley's done that this season. We talked about skip passes and going through the box. Kiley's a master at that. He sees that through all the defensive sets.
Murphy on the move. Shot from the face-off man ends up high and out of play. It'll stay with BG. Inside of 6 minutes now, just past the midway point, third quarter. Cardinals with a 6-5 lead. They trailed 4-0 after 1. Meanwhile, a flag flies here as Davis Nelson a little too aggressive on Dawson Clark. And now an elbow here is going to be called on Nelson as well. The Exeter fans not happy. See here on the replay, Nelson a couple of shoves here, goes up into the neck of Clark a couple of times. The official had seen enough.
I think he's going to get 2 holds here by the looks.
I think the second one may have been an elbow.
Yeah.
Nelson down on his knee, one of the 4 first-teamers on that All-State list that came out last night for Exeter. So now BG, a chance to go up 2 for the first time, as they have scored twice on the EMO already. This shot ends up about 6 inches high of the crossbar and out of play. Pretty good look on the near wing by Nick McGovern.
I think
Kiley sets up Bouvier, the sophomore, going to fire. That one ends up wide as well.
Yeah, so that's going to be on Nelson, as you said. And
here's a hit by Yuli Ellis. Kerkorian looked like had a word for him. 2 seniors going hard behind the cage. Kerkorian, far side. Going to pull it back out. It's got the Exeter fans fired up. Meanwhile, swim move by Wilkie. Try to force the pass middle, nobody home. This one rolling near side, out of bounds, turned over to Exeter. Well, the defense, which may or may not, Roger, starting to be dealing with some fatigue here. They're on the field in action for most of that second quarter. They withstand a long possession there by the Cardinals and get themselves a much-needed break if they can clear it here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed to do. That's going to be a flag.
Mantell hit by Ahern. The flag flies by the trail official.
And another slash.
Now a second one as well. Hayden Lechner celebrating for Exeter, knowing that 2 penalties coming against BG here with 4.5 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, we're going to get at least a slash here. Looks like Ahern's going to go, and Kiley. Let's see what the call here.
So we saw 2 penalties against Davis Nelson of Exeter a moment ago. And now we see 2 penalties against 2 different BG players here.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a hold and then a slash. So this should be, they're going to be a 6-on-5 here. So,
well, Ahern is down on his knee in the box. The senior headed to Villanova for BG. But that is the only man, I believe, in the box right now. So
he may have simultaneous then that is going to run a minute and a half here.
Up top, Hale dropped it out of his stick. Loose near side. That one's still up for grabs. A big pile up. The BG long pole. Colin Rourke seemingly had it. Now a whistle.
It's got to be a timeout, BG.
And Coach Cameron calls a timeout. Well, a good play if indeed it was the sophomore defender Colin Rourke who came up with it. That one initially went right out of the stick of Jackson Hale, who seemingly had a shooting lane there from the top of the box.
Yeah, and he's not going to want to see that as part of the tape rolling when he gets home. But good timeout by Coach Cameron there. He's got eyes all over the field. I don't even know how he saw where that ball was, but timely timeout to keep possession here and watch the far side box. He gets very, very creative in situations like this, especially where he's man down. I suspect he's going to probably bring this ball back through the defensive area, maybe even get Connerty involved here. But watch the box. I'm not quite sure how much time is left on this penalty.
Not much. I think 7 well, it was 4.5. Right, 4:03, so maybe 3 seconds?
I thought it was a minute.
Or if it's a minute, then we'd have 33, right?
Well, and I think they were simultaneous. I saw two motions at the box, Nick, so I think we got a minute and a half of penalties. We had a slash and a hold.
You're right.
So those running consecutively, it might be a little more time, but still, it doesn't mean you can't put somebody in the box or at the cone and run somebody upfield just as the ball is traversing on the other side. So let's see what the strategy is. I think he used to call it the Denver clear back in the day. I asked Coach Cam for, hey, you got a man down clear, and that's what he came up with. So maybe this will come back to fruition.
Just outside of 4 minutes remaining. Third quarter, been a dandy so far. Exeter a 4-0 lead early. BG rattling in the second quarter to take a 5-4 lead at halftime. They've exchanged goals so far in this third quarter. And now a man down, BG with the ball. Trying to clear it from their own end on the Denver clear.
Yeah, 3 shorties out there.
Spin by Mike Kiley. A foot race for the Colgate commit. Can he get there? Yes, he can.
Yeah.
Goes from near side to far. He's still got it. Pass taken low behind the cage by Krikorian.
Leave it to a washed-up coach to come up with something very complicated.
Chapman leaves the net. Went after him for a moment. Krikorian, though, cut off on a nice defensive effort. The long pole, Gilvar, is going to stay with him as Krikorian jogs now here on the near side wing.
Yeah, they're still man down, and this is what you would expect.
It's been over a minute as well.
Good penalty.
Krikorian lost it, and it's picked up by Gilvar. Exeter gets the turnover they want, and they've still got about 10 or so seconds on the EMO. Mantell behind the net. All right, BG's Ahern set to come back on and join his teammates. On the defensive end for BG, here he comes. Back to even strength. Clark thought about it. Spins right now, does fire. Ends up just wide. Ahern, a quick restart. Ahern looking for a cutter. Now being bodied up by Cranny. Absorbs a check, throws a low pass. Mantell has to go to a knee to get it. Now Mantell sprinting near side, going to bring his defender to the near wing. And come all the way out here to the near sideline as we hit 2:30 to go, third quarter. Exeter trying to tie the game for the second time in this third quarter. Clark on the run, shot, and score! Spencer Clark gets his first goal of the game, and the Division I Offensive Player of the Year has tied this championship game at 6.
Yeah, Exeter conceded the last few seconds of that EMO. I think just to get the right personnel on the field from having been on the defensive side of the field there and give themselves a little bit of break. They knew Ahern was going to come in. Why push the ball? Why make mistakes when you don't need to? And there's Spencer Clark coming in where we thought he needed to come in this half.
Meanwhile, Murphy has been almost perfect at X today for BG. He's lost once and has won 14 of the 15. Game tied at 6. Third time the game has been tied. 4-4, 5-5, and now 6-6 as we hit the 2-minute mark, third quarter. Exeter looking for their first Championship since when, Roger? They were last in this spot in 2010.
Yeah, they haven't never won a Division I championship. They won 2 in D2 back in 2000 and 2001 against Kingswood, both times.
2000 and 2001.
Yeah.
I was a junior and a senior. Tapman sends it back. This one in the air, and BG going to win the foot race. Boy, that one was close. Both Gilvar and Kerkorian trying to maneuver for positioning. They give it to Kerkorian. BG going to keep it with 1:25 now to go third quarter. Kerkorian, who has scored twice, pulls it out for Gabor. Gabor being ridden to his right. That's Campfield, the defender. This shot well wide. A bouncer out of play. Again, it'll stay with BG. 1:15 to go, third quarter.
Yeah, Gabor really kind of telegraphed all that. Tapman had nothing of it. He saw the whole way.
Clark gets the shot off, paid the price as Nelson put him on the turf. Another foot race run by the Cardinals as Dumont able to get there. And again, the Cardinals take a breath here on defense. Begging him to go left. He will. He'll fire off the post. This one loose, out of play, stays with the Cardinals.
Yeah, watch this sun field. This is one thing bad about Bulldog Stadium this time of day. I've been on that other far side coaching, and you cannot see when it gets past 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's tough.
45 seconds, third quarter. Gilboa lost it for a moment. The sophomore scoops it up. Campfield in the area. Now Mike Kiley will jog back middle. Looks over his left shoulder at the clock. There's 30 seconds to go, third quarter. Cardinals looking to retake the lead before the fourth quarter. Kiley on the run. Another one off the post. This one ricochets back to midfield, is poked up ahead. Scooped up without a challenge near side by McGovern, down to 15 seconds. Dumont takes a hit from Neal, spins back middle, inside of 10 seconds. Pass near side, McGovern looking, firing. That one high and wide. Out of play with 5 seconds to go in this third quarter. Quick restart, Kerkorian has Kiley near side, shot wide again. Inside of a second. Uncontested look there by Kiley, ends up wide.
Going Exeter.
And that is going to do it for the third quarter. We head down the stretch exactly where we started with a tie game on the board. 6-6 through 3. Will it be another championship season for Coach Cameron and Bishop Guertin? Or will Exeter come away with one of the biggest upsets we've seen in a while and capture the first Division I championship in Exeter school history? We begin to find out next. Right back to Bedford in a moment for the fourth quarter. You are watching coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship game presented by the NFHSnetwork.com in conjunction with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, a standing ovation by the Exeter fans as they try to cheer on the Blue Hawks in this fourth quarter. Exeter, they played very well through three quarters, and they've got a shot to end their seniors' career on a high note. This is a group that has played together for the better part of the last decade. They're close off the field. The coach's son amongst that group of seniors, trying to hand BG their first loss of the season. Cardinals, meanwhile, after a dominant, undefeated regular season, in a tight spot here as we begin the fourth quarter. Exeter scored the first 4 goals of the game, led 4-0 after 1. The second quarter belonged to BG as the Cardinals rattled off 5 unanswered, took a 5-4 halftime lead. Exeter outscores BG in the third quarter 2-1, and here we are, Roger Howe, 2-2. No, sorry, 6-6 as we head down the stretch here, final 12 minutes of regulation.
Yeah, what a thrilling third quarter, the last 2 minutes of that.
Kiley, a jab, and then a shot and score. Well, the Colgate commit, faking the shot, spinning to his left, and then cocking back and letting him have it. From just about 11 yards out, beats Tapman high to give BG a 7-6 lead.
All I can say on that play is where's the defense? Kiley's wide open. Where is the defense? 6-on-6. Somebody fell asleep down there in the hole.
So Michael Kiley, his first goal, gives BG a 7-6 lead very early in this fourth quarter, just 35 seconds in. Meanwhile, J.J. Murphy has been unfloppable at the X for Bishop Guertin. How about 16 out of 17 at the face-off X today for the Cardinals? Meanwhile, Cranny, the long stick defender, clears it himself, throws it left side. And now McGovern will take a breath on that far wing. BG by 1 here with a minute gone by, fourth quarter. Largest Cardinal lead has been 1. At 5-4, 6-5, and now again here at 7-6. Kiley wants another. That one wide and out of play. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, and about 2,000 or so fans here in Bedford. Bulldog Stadium packed left to right. Gorgeous night. First of 2 championship games to be played here on the turf in Bedford. The D2 final coming up at 7:30 between Timberlane and Portsmouth. McGovern fakes, comes middle, fires, and scores. Got the friendly roll as that one hits the underside of the crossbar and just crosses the line. Cardinals lead by 2 for the first time as they score twice in the first minute 38 here of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of fatigue on the defense here. They're not getting to the spot they need to get at to cover up BG's rotations on the offense. And I think the other go word by Coach Cameron during the break there was shoot the ball. Find the opening and shoot it.
Nick McGovern.
That's going to be a violation. You can't go from your knees. That's going to be their first win for a while, Nick.
Since the first quarter. Just the second win of the game for Exeter. It comes at an opportune time. Nearly 2 minutes in, fourth quarter. Exeter now needs an answer. Trailing 8-6, down by 2 for the first time.
Yeah, well, watch for a very methodical offense here. You don't have to worry about the clock so much, but you're within striking distance, so you want to still control things.
This is Jackson Hale. Pass broken up far side. Loose behind the net. It's Drunzik trying to fight off his counterpart, Kucherlakis. And now a 7-man pileup just inbounds along that far sideline. Still loose, and now Hale rolls it out to his teammate Hawley, and Exeter has it. Swings it near side. This is Lechner. Lechner looking for the inside track. Spins back to his right. Shoots low, knocked away by Cranny. Tried to go 5-hole. Cranny wasn't having it. Foot race near sideline. They'll keep it here with Exeter. Max effort there by John Sullivan. But in the end, Exeter closer to it. Now a shot from Clark, a deep one from 15 out. Knocked away by Cranny. Loose ball, far side. Ground ball ends up with Dunsmore. Dunsmore with some speed. Absorbs the check, keeps on going. Right down that far sideline, left to right. BG with possession, a 2-point lead on the board. Now 3 minutes gone by, fourth quarter.
Yeah, not the best choice of shot there from the Blue Hawks. They should have controlled things there. Tried for a better layup.
2-man game up top. Kiley turns on the gas, fires a little wide. It's the pylon on that far side as it goes out of play. BG 19-0 coming into this one. A dominant semifinal win Tuesday night on this field over Bedford. They beat Exeter twice during the regular season by finals of 21-8 and 12-6. A 2-goal lead on the board here. Nearly 4 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Kylie spins away from Sturdivant, fires, Tapman gets a piece. Ground ball, though, right back to the Cardinals. Clark in the right spot. Goes back behind the cage. Wilkie throws it away. Wow, little miscommunication there. Nobody home on the backside. That one turned over to the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, that's a second turnover unforced the entire game. We had another one down this end here earlier in the game, and that's been the story. Ball control.
Blue Hawks able to clear. BG's defense recovers. Exeter going to settle in here with just over 4 minutes gone by, fourth quarter.
Yeah, Coach Hawley's got 2 timeouts, and now would be the time to take them out of your pocket if you run into a hairy situation on possession.
Here we go, White. Here we go, White.
Exeter, 4 goals in the first quarter, shut out in the second, scored 2 in the third. Looking for their first score of this fourth quarter. Hale draws a slide, leaves it up top. The sophomore, Gavin Lechner, dancing, going nowhere now. Hale going to take his spot from straight away. Crosses inside the 30, kept it a decent distance there by the defender, McGovern. 5 minutes have gone by, fourth quarter. A lazy pass that's picked off. Underhand scoop taken out of the air by the BG Cardinals, Alex Dumont. Great play by the long pole, and now the Cardinals in transition. Krikorian a shot, stopped by Tapman. Tapman out of the cage on the far side. Krikorian able to pinch down, come up with it for the Cardinals. 2 passes later, it's Gibor. Pushed out of the zone there by Chapman, and again, Cardinals in no hurry, going to slow it down as we head towards the midway point fourth quarter. Still an 8-6 lead on the board for BG.
Another big save for Tapman there. That rebound hurt, though.
Coach Cameron, you can hear him over there on that far sideline saying, wait, let's slow it down here. And a little game of catch here. Kylie going to jog near side. Exeter's defenders giving room here on the perimeter, at least for now, as we hit the midway point fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they're going to need this little bit of a break as well. Still plenty of time on the clock.
At what point do you begin to press out and challenge if you're the Exeter defense?
Yeah, we've talked about this with BG before, and I think it's dangerous to press out too early against this team.
Dangerous is Nick McGovern's middle name, the senior, with his second goal of this fourth quarter. BG with 3 unanswered in the frame. They've got a 3-goal lead for the first time at 9-6.
Yeah, and exactly that reason. I mean, there's definitely a fatigue factor setting in on the defense right now for the Blue Hawks. They need a win here, and they need a long possession to get regrouped. Let those guys out back there get a bit of a break. But to answer your question, if you start pressing out against BG, they got too many numbers here. There's your first timeout.
Coach Hawley from the Exeter sideline using one of his 2. And it comes with 5:47 to go, just past the midway point. BG a 9-6 lead on the board. Cardinals have had a lot of success over the years under Coach Chris Cameron. Looking for another championship. Cardinals, of course, came up short in the title game the last 2 times they were in it, losing to Pinkerton in both 19 and 18. They'd beaten the Astros in 17 and 16 prior to those back-to-back losses. So despite 15 consecutive championship game appearances by the Cardinals, this one I'd imagine would mean something, maybe a little bit more than your average title if you're Coach Cameron. He's had, as we mentioned, a number of championships, 10, 11?
He's got 9.
9.
This will be 10 if he takes this one today.
And it'd be the first again since 2017.
And the first one against Exeter, it got a little boring there, I guess, would be the only word that comes to mind between their opponents. Well, you like to see things mixed up, From
a parity perspective, maybe.
Well, all right, okay. I mean, Pinkerton
the
and
controversial Roger Howe.
Pinkerton and Hanover for the last 11 years, since 2010 when Exeter was in here. And those 2 teams have only been with BG.
The rest of the division's got to step up, don't they?
Yeah, well,
Exeter able to do that.
Another story for another day.
Exeter able to do that in the championship game for the first time since 2010, hoping for a comeback here over the final 5:47, which would be their first Division I lacrosse championship on the boys' side ever. All right, 9-6 is the Cardinal lead. J.J. Murphy, indestructible at the face-off X. The Cardinals junior has now won 17 of 19 and have given them really an invaluable edge all season long at the X.
Yeah. There have been games we've done, aside from BG, where a team has dominated X and the other team has won the game, but that has not been the case with Bishop Guertin and JJ.
Coming up with a 5-minute mark. Keep an eye on this Exeter D. I think at some point, Roger, they have to come out and force the issue here because of the clock.
Yeah, now you do. Down to the 5-minute mark. You're going to be very careful. The unfortunate part here for the Blue Hawks is that, their best offensive threats, Connor Hawley and Spencer Clark, are on the defensive side of the midfield right now. They're going to be exhausted by the time they get on the offensive side if they get the ball back.
Yeah, there's going to be a few players on both teams that are going to sleep well tonight. Win or lose, it's been max effort all over the field as these two teams have left it all out there on the turf. 4.5 to play, fourth quarter.
You've got to keep it in call here on Bishop Guertin now. They've got to keep it in the box.
So they can't exit outside that black box.
Now you got to really press out. You got to force the ball here.
Yeah, you got a boundary to work with now.
Yeah,
a tighter boundary anyway.
Yeah, keep pressing out there. Don't let them control the ball here.
Krikorian against Hawley. Both seniors have played well today. Second defender coming over, that's Gilvar. Pass taken on the wing by Mike Kiley. McGovern swings it left side, knocked down by Chapman.
Now press.
Heidmiller gets to it, just inside that far sideline. Chapman whacking him with that long pole. We move inside of 4 minutes, fourth quarter.
Now this is very smart on the Cardinals' part. I mean, if you're going to lose the ball here, you want to lose it right where it is right now. You got two guys behind. The ball gets dropped out of a stick and turns over. You can press again and get it back, but this is smart lacrosse.
3.5 to go. Cardinals looking to protect this 3-goal lead and run that clock right into the ground. Trying to cap off a perfect 20-0 season that includes both the regular season and the tournament.
Yeah, and boy, I mean, when you can start substituting on the offensive side at will on a keep it in call, you gotta imagine that Exeter is really, really tired now.
Yeah, been battling fatigue really throughout this second half, it seems like. Some key guys asked to do a lot of things, including these two seniors, Clark and Hawley, trying to converge on McGovern. McGovern, who has scored twice in his fourth quarter, escaping without an issue here to the near side, and we hit 2:40 now and counting. Kiley makes a dash to the far side wing, again protecting the ball, the number one MO, or the number one objective, rather, for the Cardinals right now. The freshman Dumont. Well, Blue Hawks got to sell out now. 2:20 and counting, another timeout.
Wow.
Coach Cameron going to use, I believe, the final timeout of this second half as BG wants to make sure everybody's on the same page here for the final 2:17 as the Cardinals look to run out the clock.
Yeah, obviously they were not going at full speed there on their offense, but you almost have to call a timeout there to give your guys a break.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been holding on to the ball for 3 and 40 right there almost. So, they're getting tired too. So, yes, strategy comes into play here. The keep it in call does not expire. They're going to get the ball inside the box. And if I'm Exeter, I'm going 10-man right here. I'm going to double the ball, cover everybody as best I can. Sorry, not 10-man. I'm going to double the ball here and make sure I'm putting as much pressure on that BG ball holder as I can.
Well, reminder tomorrow morning, that man will be in studio with me. That's Chris Cameron, head coach of BG. Win or lose, full recap on the way. Part of the FNL NH Lacrosse show presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. You can watch that only on our YouTube channel FNL NH Media. It's the season finale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Coach Cameron, Coach Leslie Y of the Bishop Guertin Girls State Championship squad. She'll join us as well. And I'm sure we'll speak potentially with one of the Division II winners. And that game will come your way at 7:30 between Timberlane, led by head coach Ken Blaska, and Chad Vischer's Portsmouth Clippers. That's, again, a 7:30 start and seen live only on NFHSnetwork.com. 2:17 to go here in this D1 final. BG a 9-6 lead. Cardinals led 5-4 at halftime. The game was tied at 6 after 3.
So they're going to start off with Krikorian in the corner here with 2 defenders on him. They're going to try and pinch him.
Yep. Krikorian, though, slicker than grease, comes away unscathed to the near side. Nelson still hounding him, and this is just a big circle now. Tapman out of the cage. Krikorian looking for somebody, throws it way over the head of Heitmiller, out of the box, and turn over to Exeter.
Good job by Tapman, boy.
BG kills off 22 seconds out of the timeout before they turn it over. So now Exeter down by 3. They clear it quickly to Spencer Clark, and now are fighting 2 enemies, the Cardinals and the clock, with 1:45 remaining.
Blue Hawks need to get the attack going right now. Right now.
They got 2 behind the cage. Lechner on the near side. Kiley with him step for step. Up top now. Shaking to his left. Down the middle. Clark, a diving shot knocked down by Carnady. Ground ball to BG's. Long pole. Nick Dahl comes back middle. Pass taken by McGovern. McGovern in a foot race now. Unchallenged past the 50. Down to 1:20. BG once again in possession with a 9-6 lead on the board. McGovern being ridden by Eulis. Now Tapman after him as
He's
well.
on the
He
line.
stepped on the line. Exeter gets the turnover they want. But again, the clock is down to just 1:13.
Wow, where would we be if Spencer Clark pocketed one right there?
Yeah. It'd be interesting for sure. Instead, the gap remains 3. A whistle.
Not quite sure what that's all
I'm
about.
not either, but we're ready now. Exeter from their own end. Coach Cameron calls off the Dogs and allows Hale to proceed to midfield without a problem. And now a timeout is called by Exeter.
Final.
No, an offsides? I think we had an offsides against Exeter.
Wow.
So a costly turnover. BG right back with it. No problem at midfield for Dunsmore here on the near side. A short pass taken by Krikorian. And this one is starting to look like another BG championship. It would be the 10th under head coach Chris Cameron. Meanwhile, a pig pile here. Looks like a rugby scrum at the 20. Krikorian at the bottom of that pile. Davis Nelson, who has fought hard today, getting up out of the mix as well. The clock is stopped with 45 seconds remaining. And this one I think is going to belong to BG. Meanwhile, the officials trying to clear things up. Krikorian looks like he's about to be triple teamed here as soon as play resumes. Instead, we've got an injury on the field.
Looks like Clark.
There's a Cardinal down, and that is Dawson Clark. The senior has battled
Hamstring.
hamstring, okay.
Yeah.
Hamstring problems, a hamstring issue really all season long. Has been in and out of the BG lineup, has played sparingly, limited minutes when he has seen the field. He's played a lion's share of the minutes today, but perhaps that hamstring catching up with him here with 45 seconds to go in the state championship.
Yeah, they're working on it. It doesn't look serious, but I'm sure it's a bit tender. You're right, though. He has not left the field today. They've pulled Declan Wilkie and put in Dumont a couple of times. Dumont has been out there with Clark and Krikorian. He is hobbling.
So that may do it for Clark. Playing in his final game as a Cardinal. He'll play, of course, at the NCAA level at West Point, along with his BG teammate John Sullivan.
Yeah, you just hate to see that senior year. Been battling injuries all season long. Come out and make a great showing here.
Triple teamed. Heitmiller.
They get it.
Lost it. Nelson up ahead. Drunzik. Exeter with numbers. Drunzik to the middle. Fires and scores with 32 seconds remaining. Exeter back within 2 at 9-7. Aiden Drunzik, who had been kept off the board until now, the future UMass Minuteman, goes upstairs to cut the BG gap down to 2 at 9-7.
Yeah, there was no way you were going to stop Drunzik there. He actually had Lechner open at the net the minute he rolled off of the pressure on the clearing pass, but no way was he going to give that ball up at that point. We've been trying to call his name all day. He's just been kind of out there. He really hasn't touched the ball a whole lot.
Got to credit the BG defense.
Yeah, true.
Timeout on the field. Exeter uses their final timeout. It comes again just inside of 33 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Still a 2-goal gap on the board at 9-7. Well, this one echoes the NCAA Division I championship a little bit, Roger. Virginia held a 2-goal lead inside of the final minute. Maryland came down, right, and scored to make it 1, and then Maryland won the face-off with 10 seconds. Got the shot they wanted inside of 10 seconds. It was not meant to be, however, as Virginia, in the highest-scoring NCAA championship game ever, outlasted Maryland a couple of weeks back by a score of, 17-16, right?
Exactly. And going back to 2009 Division I NCAA, Cornell against Syracuse. My sons and I were talking about this that evening of the Virginia-Maryland game, that Syracuse did actually hit pay dirt on the last play of the game in a tie game situation, in a one-goal game, and they tied it and then won it in overtime. But
well, the point is it's not over until it's over, right? Still 32.6 to go here in Bedford. J.J. Murphy has won 17 of 19 faceoffs for BG today. Can he win one more? Clark trying to push him off the ball. This is Sullivan near side. 2 Exeter players on the turf. And in the end, it's Ahern who gets it. Trying to keep his balance. That was Wilkie, rather. Turns it over now, Nelson. Long down the near sideline. Down to 15 seconds. Connor Hawley to the middle. Connor Hawley, one pass. Drunzik shoots, goes wide and out of play with 8 seconds remaining. Quick restart. Lob near side. Clark open. That goes off the crossbar. It goes out of bounds, and that is it. The BG Cardinals run the table and go undefeated in 2021 and win another state championship for Coach Chris Cameron. It is the first since 2017. It comes on the heels of a strong second half, a strong fourth quarter by the Cardinals. And in the end, they outlast Exeter here in the state championship by a score of 9-7.
Yeah, what can you say? You run the table, you go 20-0, and come up with a performance like that against probably the scrappiest team that I have seen play them in a long, long time, regardless of Massachusetts or Maine teams or New Jersey teams. That Blue Hawks team deserves a really good hand for their performance out there. But BG, number 10 out of 15, or out of 16, that is. Boy, what a crew.
20-0, regular season and tournament. And a job well done. Meanwhile, it's the Exeter fans making the loudest noise. A standing O from the Blue Hawk faithful. One of the better Exeter seasons, maybe ever, despite the fact that in the end the hardware belongs to Chris Cameron and the Cardinals. The trophy presentation is on the way next. We'll be back to wrap this one up in just a moment, but a lot to get to as we look back at what was really a great game here this afternoon. That's coming up in just a moment. You're watching continued coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship right here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Well, the Cardinals of Bishop Guertin, certainly the favorites coming in after rattling off 19 wins, no losses through the combination of the regular season and this open tournament. Exeter gave them all they could handle this afternoon. Blue Hawks jumped out in front 4-0 and held that lead with them into the second quarter. That's when BG came alive. They go on a 5-0 run and take the lead just before halftime at 5-4. Exeter showing some fight in that third quarter. They outscore the Cardinals 2-1 in the frame and tie the game at 6 going into the fourth. But it was BG who scored the first 3 goals of that fourth quarter. Exeter scored once in the final minute to make it interesting. But in the end, this talented BG Cardinal squad, they go wire to wire undefeated. They win this 2021 Division I state championship game by a final of 9-7.
Yes, very impressive. This squad has been all season long from the very first week of play back in March, and they just have not let up all season long. However, I will say the Blue Hawks have given them by far the biggest fight that they had seen in all 20 games this season. There's no question about it in my mind. You and I follow these things habitually, and clearly this was one of those games. Exeter, as you said, played them very, very strong through about halfway through the third quarter, and then there's no question in my mind the depth of Bishop Guertin's roster allows them to not deal with the same fatigue factors that the Blue Hawks had to deal with, and with their the Blue Hawks' lack of defensive midfielders on the short stick end, where they can siphon those guys through, get fresh bodies on defense, and then allow Holly and Clark to take a breather, I think is the detriment here between the two teams and the reason why BG pulled this one out.
First of 2 championship games here in Bedford. The Division II final on the boys' side between Portsmouth and Timberlane gets going about 72 minutes from now. Roger and I will have that call for you, of course, as well.
Time for a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee and a Monster drink.
Sounds like you're buying, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm always buying.
How about a little preview, Roger, of what you expect in that next game. It may be even better than this one. I know that was one of the best D1 finals we've seen in a while. Of course, Pinkerton and BG had some great back and forth in recent history as well. But on the Division II side, a bigger tournament, number one, 21 teams at the outset were alive in D2, and in the end they whittled down to Timberlane and Portsmouth. What do you think going in there?
I'm going to tell you something. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning, and I got right into my prep work, okay? And by 6:30, I had already gotten an email from Coach Chad Fisher from the Portsmouth Clippers, and from Ken Blaska. And you cannot help but talk to those guys, even through email, and just get pumped up, especially Ken Blaska. He is this is historic for the Timberlane program, for them to be in a D2 final, and the hard work that those guys have put into that program this year, both sides. It just comes right at you talking to these guys. They were willing to talk about the collegiate recruits and, hey, can you give me a shout out to this guy and that guy? And they're just so ready, and they're going to have their team fired up for this.
It's going to be a war. For sure.
Yeah.
BG, meanwhile, what a spring. The boys go undefeated, get the job done this afternoon. The girls took care of Pinkerton in the championship round to cap off their undefeated season earlier this week. By the way, we'll speak with Coach Cameron tomorrow live in studio, part of our FNL NH Lacrosse show presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We'll also speak with Coach Leslie Y for the first time for the Cardinals on the girls' side. Of course, this follows a successful winter as well, in which the BG boys basketball team, in which Coach Cameron was part of that staff, won the state championship. The girls were in the finals on the hardwood side. They had success on the ice, both boys and girls. So clearly, the Bishop Guertin Athletic Department enjoying yet another trophy for that showcase down there in Nashua.
Yeah, that's undeniable. They're a stronghold in most of the athletics that they run down there. Give you a little quick note here, a little man on the street lacrosse guy. BG boys and girls have never won a championship in the same year.
In lacrosse?
In lacrosse, they have never won. According to Coach Hetler, anyways. We had a little bit of through the lines discussion, but that was one of those little things that Coach Cameron did not want to hear about. He did not want to hear that come out of one of his best friends on the coaching circuit, by all means. And truth be told, but that point was brought up to him apparently in the days prior to today's game, and Coach Cameron didn't like that.
Well, they've dispatched that.
Yes,
as they are both champions now. You saw Coach on screen there get a Gatorade shower a moment ago. He's down there speaking with some of the media. Again, Coach will be in studio. We'll pick his brain tomorrow about ring number 10 over there at BG.
Yeah, this is.
Meanwhile, for Exeter, they start to make their way off the field. A lot of slumped shoulders and hung heads, but this supportive Exeter crowd trying to lift them up here to show their appreciation, not just today, but a really successful season for Exeter all season long. Is when it's said and done, they end up at 16-3. Including today's loss.
And they go off the field, or they came on the field as a team, and they go off the field as a team. And you can't ask for anything more out of that club today, and their coaching staff, and everybody involved from Coach Hawley, Coach Leary, Bill Ball, the athletic director over at Exeter, and the squad there that gave it all and left it on the field today.
Yeah. All right. We're going to say goodbye here. We want to thank Corey Parker and his staff here in Bedford. As usual, doing a great job hosting a championship event. Great job, Mr. Parker. We want to thank Mr. Boyle as well, Don Boyle, the NFHS down in Connecticut, for giving us the green light. We appreciate that partnership working into the future. Of course, the man in the crow's nest, our chief videographer, John Barron, doing a great job behind the lens, as usual. The man behind the curtain, director Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios, spot on again with the replay technology. The executive producer, the big man in the big chair, that's Steve Beals, on site again today, lending out a hand. We appreciate him all season long. Of course, my partner, Roger Howe, will be on the call coming up here between Timberlane and Portsmouth in about a half hour or so. My name, Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time. BG 9, Exeter 7. This has been a presentation of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Championship game here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance in conjunction with the NFHS Network. So long, everyone.